Continuing now with the lead story, the battle for the hearts and minds of Americans over Obamacare. Joining us now from the nation's Capitol building, Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, Republican from Minnesota. So, before I get to the Obamacare and the wisdom, the deep wisdom that I bring to the debate, you had a little excitement down here this afternoon. Tell me from your point of view what happened.
Well, the loudspeakers went off in the Cannon building where I was standing, and we were all told to shelter in place, which means that there was, in all likelihood, a gunshot. And we heard that there was a shooter, so we were told to shelter in place. We were up on the third floor of Cannon, and so people went into a shelter. We were out here. A lot of cameras were here. They all went over to the doors, and it was clear that the police shut down Independence Avenue. We could see the east steps of the Capitol and the south. People were all directed to come off of the Capitol and come toward the Cannon building, and then before long a helicopter came over and was specifically over the western side of the Capitol. At that point, then we started to hear the news reports. The sheltering in place occurred for a while, but it was appear after a little bit of time that there wasn't any more danger and everyone was allowed to go.
All right, let's get to the Obamacare deal. Now, you've seen the polls that say Americans are blaming Republicans for the mess. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that you said it very well, and I agreed with every word in your talking point memo tonight, because 21 mainstream press reports all blaming Republicans, 0 blaming the Democrats. That tells you where we're at. But again, we're only on day 3 of this shutdown, and I think we sensed a real switch yesterday in mood from calls that we're getting in our office. There's a real symbol here, Bill, and the symbol was the fact that the administration had shut down the World War II memorial exactly when you have fragile 90-year-old veterans of World War II trying to get in on an honor flight, and they didn't have a second chance. They couldn't stand very long in the 80-degree sun. They had to get in. That really offended a lot of Americans, and I think from a bipartisan level, Democrats and Republicans, we all want these veterans to get in, and so we've asked the administration, would you please open up these open-air memorials so that the people can get into them. We put a couple bills on the floor to do just that. Just now, Harry Reid today pushed back our bill, which would fully fund veterans' benefits. So when we can't agree on something like Obamacare, we don't agree, we thought, why don't we start with the things we do agree, and let's at least open up and help the folks with what we agree on. That's our strategy right now.
You think as the Democrats dig in and don't show any sign of being reasonable, that public opinion will shift to the Republicans? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's already started. And again,
but you know,
I don't
the media is not going to report it that way, so I'm not sure that message is going to get out to what they call the low information voter, the person who doesn't watch the news, they just hear stuff.
It's a bigger challenge. You're exactly right. It's a bigger challenge, but then we have to go through alternative media, and you're telling people tonight you have a huge audience. So people are hearing the truth, and of course the story came out today that they've closed down the site of D-Day, the Normandy beaches. These are the kind of, they're even trying to shut down the private Mount Vernon, where George Washington's home is. Well, they can't do that, but they're trying to.
I know.
So
they're trying to put the maximum amount of pressure to make the GOP fold. Okay, so you basically have a situation now where I think many Americans are going to blame both parties. Say, oh, these people, they just can't. How do you yourself, when you go back to Minnesota, and if folks say, listen, this Obamacare thing, that was legitimately, he won, the president won the election, you got through Congress, you may not have voted for it, but it got through, Supreme Court upheld it, and now you're trying to sabotage it in a backdoor way. That's not the republic, that's not how we operate. And you say what?
I understand that argument, but this is the other thing. People have had one mess after another in Minnesota, in addition to other states, and they agree with you, frankly. They don't like this unfairness that big business got this huge waiver and they don't get a waiver.
Yeah,
they're nervous.
That's the big thing. That's right.
And Bill, I'm telling you, you put your finger on the pulse of America, because Americans want fairness. They're seeing all these special deal carve-outs, and after Obamacare was passed, the president on his own changed Obamacare without going through the law. He changed it 19 times, and he doesn't want us to fund the original Obamacare. He wants us to fund the bill that he's unilaterally rewritten. We're saying, hey, wait a minute here. Let's have fairness for all Americans.
Well, I mean,
and
look,
we're with you.
that's a very powerful, strong argument. The President of the United States has changed a lot of the things, granted a lot of exemptions. And if it's that screwed up, then step back for 9 months, give everybody who wants one an exemption. Go ahead with your own, all right? And let's see how it plays out. All right, Congressman, we're glad everybody's safe down there, and thanks for appearing with us today.
Thank
Directly
you,
ahead,
Bill.
Laura Ingraham on a brand new poll that says some Republicans are mad at other Republicans. And then, brand new Factor segment, Mad as Hell, where you, the viewers, sound off. Don't miss this one. Upcoming.